Hello, and welcome to Psychology of the Parsha for Parshat KiTeizei. Amongst the many mitzvot in this Parsha, there's one that stands out not only as the mitzvah for what it literally stands for, but also as explained by a great Kabbalist and expounded upon by the Rabbi as a tremendous lesson in life, especially to those of us who are engaged in helping others, in doing for others, which perhaps is anyone listening to this. Certainly we all have a desire to do so. And that is the verse in chapter 22, verse 8. Okay, that is exactly Shlishi, the third aliyah of this week's Parsha. It begins with the words, Ki tivne bayit chadash. We shall build a new home. You build a new edifice. V'asita ma'akeh legavecha. You shall make a ma'akeh. 101 translations, but in plain simple English, coming from Brooklyn, which I'm used to, is a gate, a guard. You should make a guard around your roof. V'lo tasim damim bebeitecha. You should not place blood, meaning any liability, in your home. Ki yipol hanofel mimenu. For the faller will fall from it. That's the way the verse says it. Meaning, lest anyone shall fall from your roof. The sages explain that this peculiar way of saying it, the Torah is telling us that although, in truth, the person who falls, the person who's injured, would have fallen or would have been injured anyway. The damage that's happening to them is happening to them by divine providence. But you need to make sure that you don't become the catalyst for Hashem's plan to be implemented. You don't become the shliach, you don't become the messenger through whom Hashem implements His, will, which is by divine providence. You make sure that your house is safe. How is Hashem going to carry out His plan? Hashem is pretty big, and He's got many ways. As the sages say, Harbe shluchim lamakom. There are many emissaries, there are many messengers for God. He's got many methods, many ways to carry out His plan. You don't be one of it. And in fact, if God forbid, somebody's negligent, somebody didn't do their due diligence in providing the necessary protection for their property and so on, and thus there was a liability, and someone got hurt, you can't turn around and say, well, that person would have been hurt anyway, or that person was jumping around and they didn't watch where they were walking. No, you now become a partner in that mishap. You now assume and therefore own responsibility and guilt into what happened. But on a deeper level, the great Kabbalist, the Shalah, Rabbi Yeshayahu Halevi Horowitz, actually explains this to mean that if somebody builds a great new home, somebody's building a new edifice, you've made a great achievement in Torah, great mitzvah, you've done something wonderful. Keep your roof guarded. What is the roof? Think about it. A roof is above the house, is above the home. You don't live on a roof. In fact, anybody who knows the laws of real estate, you may own the airspace, but you don't have anything there. You can't really even use that airspace to an extent that you can build there. If you want to, you need to get special permitting and zoning and so on. It belongs to you, but it's all air. What is that synonymous with? Ego. Says the Shalah, keep your ego in check. Don't let it go wild. Don't let it turn into a liability. Because then if not, it may cause harm and somebody will fall. The Rebbe actually explains that to apply specifically in something which the Rebbe wanted us all to be engaged with and strongly encouraged it for everyone, not just his own Hasidim. Go out there and build a new home. What's this new home? Take something that didn't seem to have the potential to be an edifice, to be a servant of Hashem, and make a dirah b'tachtonim, create out of it the other Jew, the other place, the city, the entity, make out of it a place, a dwelling place for Hashem, a real true home. Where do we use the word bayit? Bet HaMikdash, a dwelling place for Hashem's presence, for the Shekhinah. However, be very careful. Do not let that ego go rampant. And the truth is, when you do something so good, something so powerful, something so amazing, you bring somebody closer, that ego starts to play up. It starts with, of course, feeling good about it, which is a great thing, the satisfaction. But when that turns into the ego, it now becomes a liability. And then what could happen, God forbid, says the Rebbe, that the faller, the person, not only won't rise to come close to Hashem, but the person who's already falling will fall even more. And it will be your fault that you caused it. Because the only way that you can bring a Jew closer to Yiddishkeit, to Judaism, to Hashem, is only through genuine teaching, through genuine talk. Genuine teaching, genuine talk comes from the heart. It's pure, it's humble. And if it's not, it can be, God forbid, very tainted. And not only won't cause the desired effect, but it can cause tremendous damage. Thus, this is a tremendous lesson, and perhaps I would suggest that it applies not only in this particular type of instance, in this particular case, but it would apply to anything we do in life. You accomplish something, you finish the project, don't ruin it by becoming now arrogant, by being full of ego. Because the people around you may not notice your accomplishments. They may be blinded now by the big light, that blinding light of your ego. And then you'll never really get the true credit that you deserve. Shalom.